Hey guys, welcome to this episode of 5 for Talking. We're here to do a little awards show / a little shoot the shits.
I like poo.
That's what you're into. Alright, so let's kick this off. Let's start naming some awards.
Alright, you want to do awards first?
Yeah, let's get into
Bargo
it.
wants to do awards first?
Get awards first, and we'll talk. We can talk throughout the
I
awards.
could talk. You like talks?
We could talk.
Alright, we could talk. Alright, so I guess let's not start on the biggest note. Let's say the Calder Trophy, the Rookie of the Year. I'm hoping we both picked the same person because it's basically a lock.
Corey Schneider.
That's a good pick. Corey Schneider, Rookie of the Year.
And I went Matthew Barzal.
Yeah, you have to go Matthew Barzal. There's not even an option, really.
I went just based off of stats, basically.
With Keller and Boser constantly getting injured, they don't have a chance right now.
Boser and McAvoy would have been my next two.
McAvoy's good.
But D-man don't really win that, man.
If Clayton Keller stayed healthy, he could clear that. I think so. He was really good at the beginning.
At the start, he was sharp, and then at the end of the season, he's just there on the team. He's not really a standout player, no.
Agreed. Okay, so put a check mark there. I don't do what do I say. Let's talk Vezina, best goalie. Let's get one big one out here.
Vasilevsky. No, actually, no. Hold on. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, Vasilevsky.
This guy dropped it and takes it back.
Vasilevsky.
So just by the way, we're going to be keeping track of this, and at the end of the year, whoever gets the most will get the points. We're going to try to get Caps' choices, but if we don't, too bad. You know it's better chances for us.
50-50.
Okay, I have Rene, Vasilevsky, and Anderson as the best in this category. Anderson has 110 more shots against than any other goalie.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough decision.
Which gives it a big thing, right?
But Tampa's success, man.
Tampa's success, I agree. But Pekka Rinne picked up the team of Nashville, who wasn't even in a playoff spot, and brought them all the way to the top of the NHL. Okay, this guy has only 8 losses in the whole season.
Okay,
8
Nashville
losses.
is one of the best structured teams right now in the NHL,
Yeah,
and has been.
8 losses, okay? He's tied for the lead in save percentage. He's the leader in goals against average. And
He's not tied for save percentage.
Yeah, the other goalie doesn't count, in my opinion. But maybe awards-wise, but in the season, no. He's winning goals against average.
Doesn't make any sense.
Awards-wise, they might look at it differently, but to me, that goalie only played 30 games, so I don't count him.
That's enough to be counted, though.
But Pekka Rinne played, 60 games already? That's like, it's harder to keep that average over that many games. And not to mention, he's tied for first in shutouts, so Pekka Rinne is my choice, and you can suck it.
For goalie.
Yeah, you said Vasilevsky, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'll put a little checkies.
Check.
All right, let's look, guys.
Okay, on the next one, let's go.
Let's go Selke for best defensive forward. I was really lost in the water on this. I'll be honest with you. I don't follow that stat enough, but I had a grouping of people like we talked about before, and I just kind of chose out of it.
Okay, well I picked Patrice Bergeron. Basically, any center on Boston is a defensive center.
And that's a smart choice, too, because Bergeron won it, 4 out of the last 7 years or something.
Yeah, and Boston is having a good year.
I think because of the injuries and the times that he missed, he loses a little bit of, the factoring when they're voting. I just picked Koivu because Minnesota was so far behind and carried themselves deep into a playoff spot as of right now. And I went Koivu. Bergeron is a better choice, I'll agree, but tried to throw a little wild card out there. You know what I mean? So William Jennings is save percentage, and I'm guessing you picked whatever that goalie was.
Who'd you guess?
I picked Pekka Rinne.
I picked Hutton.
Yeah, I figured St. Louis, but he's injured right now. The only reason I say
that's fine because his number will stay.
The only reason I say Hutton is because they might say that he didn't get enough game time. But regardless, he is first.
We'll see.
And we'll see. So let's go Norris, best defenseman.
Victor Hedman.
Smart choice. He's about 6th or 7th in points, but he's very close. And he has a really good plus-minus and also captain of the... Is he the captain? Whatever. Best defenseman on the best team. Second best team. Tied for first.
You said the best?
I went John Klingberg. Why? Because he's 9 points ahead of anyone else, and he is +6 on the rating, which is still top 2 of the top 10 defensemen. So
Klingberg, Hedman, and Yossi.
If Dallas does not make the playoffs, I will straight up admit right now, Klingberg does not get a Norris. If they
it's too risky. That's why I was looking through them.
I looked at that too, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather take the risks. I'd rather take the risk.
That's fine.
You know, you got to be risky. All right, so let's say Lady Bing for most sportsmanlike.
Kopitar.
I actually picked Kopitar as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird because he's not that sportsmanlike, but he does have only like 12 playoff or penalty minutes this whole season.
This season, yes, for this award.
Yeah.
Other seasons, and probably not.
I gotta say you're correct on that. So that's out of the way. Let's say Rocket Richard here, and it's a very close race between like 4 people.
Okay, so the clear choice would be Ovechkin. I went Malkin. The dude's on fire.
I almost, like, that's
The
funny that
dude
you
is
did
on
that.
fire.
You literally, that's what I was going to pick. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know what, though? I'm going to stick with my favorite player of this era, and it's going to be Ovechkin. And he's dope.
He
He's
is
so
good.
dope.
He is good.
The difference is, I can just see him having one more, like, 5-goal game.
This was
and
my
just,
John Klingberg pick. This was my, like, risky pick.
Oh, I had 2 of them.
Because there's, like, 3 of them there that I would, like, I would pick either of them. Because they're all, like, 1-2 points away from each other.
Liney's right there.
2 goals, sorry.
Malkin's right there. And there's another guy. I don't know how I'm drawing a blank, but there's another guy that's right there. I'll just stay Ovechkin. He's only 1 goal ahead right now. But I'm going to stay with Ovechkin. So we got that out of the way. Jack Adams for coach.
Mikey Babcocky.
Well, you have actually 0% chance of winning that award.
We'll see.
So I'll give myself a point there because Gerard Gallant of Vegas is going to win.
Oh, true, yeah. I forgot about
Listen,
Vegas, huh?
my
We'll see.
original choice, I'm not even gonna lie to you, was Mike Babcock. And then I was thinking in my head, I was like, wait, John Cooper is a good choice too for Tampa Bay. I'm like, that's pretty close. And while I was debating between them, I was like, what the hell? I'm like, Gerard Gallant. There's hands down. Your first season with this team, the worst on paper team in the NHL. And you were first place almost all season.
I don't know about worse on paper, but yeah, I agree.
What team is worse than them on paper?
Phoenix.
I don't know, because Phoenix has a lot of young talent.
But yeah, they're not ripe talent.
Agreed. Okay, that's fair.
Talent.
I could take that.
Vegas has middle class talent.
I could take that.
That's growing.
We could easily say, though, on paper, Vegas is a bottom 5 team.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Like,
that's
I agree
fair.
with that.
Okay, so what do we have left here? The Art Ross Trophy for most points. I will start this one off because I don't care. Kucherov can lick my butthole because Malkin is going to win.
Okay, I went with Kucherov. This was a safe pick. Just hoping that he stays at this pace for the rest of the season.
He has shown that, okay, beginning of the season, he was really good. Almost the whole season. But in the last 22 games that have been played, he sort of showed that he'll have 3 points one night and then not get any points for 3 games. And then get 2 points and then 1 point and then no points for 3 games, which is the thing that worries me. Malkin has literally been lighting it up.
He's literally on fire lately.
Like the fire, there's fire.
Yeah, that's why I picked him for goals.
Malkin is good. And okay, so we'll get off that and we'll go to our final award, which is the Hart MVP. I don't know. There's 4 to 5 guys that are clear for me. What about you?
Same, but I picked Kucherov.
Okay, so for me, there's Kucherov, Bergeron, McKinnon, Malkin, and I don't remember the other one because I didn't write it down because I'm an idiot.
Okay, so I agree to Malkin and Kucherov. McKinnon, yes, great season, but Colorado, if they don't make the playoffs.
Okay, here's my dilemma here. If Colorado makes the playoffs, McKinnon is going to win MVP.
Oh, yeah, most likely.
He's only like 4 points behind first place in points. And he was injured for a nice amount of time. He missed at least like 10 total games this season and still is where he is. And he carried that team on his back. Where Kucherov got a lot of points, but he's not the leader of this team. I don't think it's because of him that they're winning. I think it's because of Hedman Vasilevsky, and the whole team together.
Okay, I think you take out Kucherov and you got Tampa Bay like 3 years ago. 4
I
years
think
ago.
if you take out Kucherov, Tampa Bay's still the top three in the you know how they have the separate brackets.
Yeah,
They're still
Wild
top
card
three with
brackets.
Toronto and Boston, but they might not be first
because how
place.
weak our division is.
Yeah, but they
Those
might
other
not.
teams are
They might not be
trash.
first. They're a guaranteed playoff team
Boston would be first.
without Kucherov. Bergeron has been missing a lot of games, and they've still done what they've done. Even though I will admit he's a big part of that. Malkin, as much as I love him, and I think he's a really big part of how good they're doing right now, they still have Sidney Crosby. So it's like you kind of.
But no one's even talking about Crosby.
But
Everyone's talking about Malkin.
Dude, I don't care who you're talking about. Crosby's the best player in the
Talk
NHL.
about people.
Talking about people. Crosby's the best player in the NHL.
Okay.
If you break down his career of points per game, I think it is, he's like 5th all time. So that's pretty good to be up there. Like, I've always been a Crosby doubter, even though I know how good he is, similar to LeBron.
I think Tampa Bay's going to light up the awards.
I'm going to take McKinnon, and that's a really, really difficult pick because we know right now between both of us, if Colorado does not make the playoffs, McKinnon does not win the Hart Trophy. Also, I'd like to just state for a fact, I would have liked to see somewhere in this voting that Anderson or Pekka get some kind of like nod, because I know they don't like to see goalies win this award. I think the last one was Jose Theodore, but
yeah, I agree. It's not easy for a goalie to hit.
Frederik Anderson has been 110 more shots than any other goalie, and the Leafs are still top like 6 in the NHL overall.
Dude's been standing on a shed.
On a shed.
On a shed.
I seen him on a shed once.
Yeah.
It was called Shedler on the Roof.
Just water under the fridge.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so before we get into some deep Leafs talk, I wrote down some teams, minus the Leafs because you're a homer and I can't stand talking to you about it. So I'm going to name these teams from 4 from the East, 4 from the West, and you tell me whether you think they are a finals contender, a cup contender, or what you feel, okay? Mm-hmm. So we'll start out Tampa Bay.
Cup contender.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But like in a cup contender sense that if I name you the other 8 teams, you're going to say they're all cup contenders, or you really believe Tampa Bay is like far beyond.
Well, name me the other teams. And
let's I'm just saying that I want to do it this way. But yeah. You think with...
I think Tampa Bay can step over all the teams in their division.
Okay,
right
that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Boston.
Boston conference contender?
I think that's fair. Because you know what? I don't think they have actually what it takes to win, but they're
like unless
close.
They find up a way to beat up the team that they're playing. What's his name? Brad Marchand gets in his little cheap shots. Takes a couple guys out from the ground.
They're a very undisciplined team is my thing.
They are, and they're like their finesse skill is not as high as Tampa Bay.
And I find them to be very slow.
Defensively?
Period. Like they're not like the slowest team in the NHL per se. Like they have fast players, but they're not a team like against the Leafs. You watch the Leafs whiz around against them, and it's like
it's because they're a strong, well-rounded team. They're not like a speedy finesse team.
Jaffiel. So we went through Tampa, Boston, Washington.
Washington is going to repeat history for their team.
You think so?
Yeah.
You don't think that they have it this year, especially with Ovechkin?
They haven't proven anything. Even when Ovechkin is this Del Fuego, they haven't proven me anything. I can't count on Washington. I can't say Washington. I think Boston will be Washington.
Okay, this is not for me. This is for you.
Boston and Washington, to me, both of them are like conference teams.
Okay,
they're not champions. Stanley Cup.
Okay,
finals.
but you still think you believe Washington can make the conference finals?
Yeah, they have the potential.
Okay, that's not super bad.
But I don't think they're gonna win.
No,
the conference finals.
Pittsburgh.
They're like Tampa to me, cup contender.
Yeah, I don't want them to win again, but they're at least a pretty solid lock, 50-50 to make at least the finals.
If it comes down to them and Tampa in the conference finals, I think whoever wins that will probably win the cup.
Yeah, okay.
I think an East team is going to take it this year.
Personally, I think Nashville, but that's fine.
I want to, but I don't.
I just think Nashville has more disciplined offense than Tampa Bay and a better defense than Pittsburgh.
Like, were they good in the playoffs last year or were they great?
They were great.
Yeah. So, And their team got better.
Yeah, so Nashville's a fucking lock.
Yeah. I'd say they're a cup contender in the West.
Okay, so that was my next pick anyways. Yeah. So, to be honest with you, it's Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh are close. And Nashville's a clear cut for me in the West. Okay, what about Vegas?
I think they'll win a couple rounds. I don't know if they'll stick around to make it to the bang-out stages. Like I think like depending on how the round robin, like how the playoff structure goes for them, will determine how far they make it.
Well,
they legit sizzled off at this point of the year.
Oh, they lost like 3 in a row at home now.
Like they sizzled off, and this is the worst time to go in like a slump because now you're getting into the playoffs with a losing atmosphere.
The thing for me with
them, playoffs is completely different, man.
For me with them, I think it's more like I don't think they're gonna win anything in the playoffs, like a game or two.
First round.
But I want them now after seeing what they've done, just win the first round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
just win the first round.
Round or two winners. But they can make it depending on the structure.
The problem is they're gonna be facing.
We can go through that next. We'll go through who they're facing after.
Okay,
we'll go through that after this.
Winnipeg.
Okay, Winnipeg is interesting. They're like, to me, they're a conference. Because I think if they end up facing Nashville, Nashville's going to walk all over them.
I think Winnipeg is the Western version of Boston. A mediocre speed team that's very good defensively, but still has scorers.
They have a lot better scoring structure in Winnipeg, I think.
I think throughout the lineup.
Yeah.
But Boston on those first 2 lines has a lot of scoring power.
Like if they face Nashville in the conference finals, Nashville will win.
Yeah. And the last team, Minnesota.
Early knockout. 2 first, second round.
I think this year, with Eric Stahl playing the way he is, they have a chance to go farther, but they don't have it to win.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for them.
So Leafs talk.
These injuries they're facing right now, do you think they're serious?
Who's injured other than Matthews? Oh, Anderson. I didn't see what happened at the end of the game, to be honest with you.
But I heard them talking. It's like upper body injury, but there's nothing serious. Leo Komarov.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about those guys. But at the same time, you have to have your goalie, and you have to have Matthews. I think Matthews, right now at this point of the season, Matthews and Anderson don't play until the season's done.
I think you bring back Anderson maybe just for the last game, just to get into the swing of things before the season. And Matthews, you bring it in the last 4 or 5 games.
I would say last 2.
There's 12 games left, right?
Yeah, I'd say last 2. They don't need to win them. They can lose all of them.
Yeah, but I'd rather make sure we don't lose all of them, because if Florida wins all the rest of their games, they're going to pass us.
So we hit a wild card. First time we hit a wild card?
I still don't want that.
I'd rather face Tampa than Boston.
No, I don't care. I'll face either one of those teams. I'm not worried. The only 2 teams as Leafs that I would be worried to face is Pittsburgh and Washington. I don't care about anybody else. We could beat Tampa Bay.
I think we could beat Washington.
We could beat Tampa Bay because we're much more of a gritty team than they are, even though there's not much powerful players on our team.
They cannot take a penalty against teams like Tampa. Boston, yeah, you can afford it.
Yeah, but Boston is also a much more bruiser of a team than us.
Yeah, we'll be beaten up after that series.
That's the scary part about facing Boston, right? But I think Boston is an easier knockout because defensively they don't have much there. Like McAvoy and like whoever else they have, they're they're mostly. Torrey Krug is not even a threat. Torrey Krug is an offensive defenseman. McAvoy has no experience, so I don't think in the playoffs he's going to come down.
Boston is a team of experience.
Yeah.
If you want to compare experience to the Leafs, name one player on the Leafs that has the most experience. Ron Hainsey?
Yeah. No. Experience, yeah, not playoffs. Last year was his first playoffs, and he won a cup.
Really? I thought he hit playoffs quite a few times in his career.
Probably Frederik Andersen, playing with Anaheim. He definitely saw a lot of playoff. There's not too much. I'm not going to disagree with you. That's what I mean. Dominic
so you're looking at a team like Boston that's well-rounded. Almost every player on that team.
Yeah, but Tampa Bay a lot of those players were on Tampa Bay when they won the cup, or when they went to the finals.
Stamkos?
When the year that they went to the finals. Sorry, not when they won the cup.
Stamkos,
Hedman, Tyler Johnson, Palat.
Palat's not even. Is he still there?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's other players.
There's not that many.
They've made the playoffs every year.
Their best players right now, besides Stamkos, Vasilevsky, and Victor Hedman, are legit 2-3 year guys.
No, Jason Garrison. They have their defense. Is it good? No. They also have Ryan McDonough. Okay, is their team legit experienced like Pittsburgh or something? No, but
Boston.
They have enough experience on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has been a top 5 team in the East, at least, if not the league, over the last like 8 years, except for last year. Last year was like the only mulligan. Yeah, because
the year before.
The year before, I'm pretty sure they were
injured.
I'm pretty sure they made the playoffs the year before. But they have always been since the Stamkos era. They've been a playoff contending team.
This is another thing too. If Boston goes to the playoffs with these injuries, I take back everything I said about Boston.
Okay, that's fair.
Bergeron's hurt. Someone else is hurt. One of the defense is hurt. Charlie's out.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? If those guys aren't playing in the playoffs, they're done.
No Matthews is scary, but Noah Anderson is the most scariest moment of your career if you're the Leafs.
No Matthews is doable.
McElhinney will win you a game in the playoffs, but that's all.
I think if Anderson's healthy, McElhinney doesn't even see a game.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think McElhinney sees a game if it's 3-0 series and it's against a team that you've completely dominated.
Yeah.
Like, if they're winning every game 3-0 or 4-1, you could take him out for one game.
But if the man's on fire, like shutouts, 1 goal against in 3 games or something like that, I would keep him in.
It's true, though, because in the playoffs, you want to ride the hot hand.
Yeah.
That's like how Murray took Fleury's spot.
Yeah.
The Murray-Fleury connection.
That's another thing, too, with Pittsburgh. If their goaltending is consistent, they have a good chance.
Yes, but the problem is Murray has proven this season that all he does is get injured.
In the regular season.
Yeah,
playoffs, so
this year has been very bad for him. I believe he's had about 6 injuries that at least made him miss 1 game. So in the playoffs, missing 1 game when your backup goalie, when you have no backup goalie, basically, is scary because they don't have their backup goalie sucks.
Who is it?
I don't remember his name, but he did really bad the last game when he.
Don't tell me it was Niemi.
No, Niemi's gone. Niemi's in Montreal. Niemi's in Montreal, and he's 5-3-1. And he has like 2 shutouts.
Yeah, I know. He's on fire.
I'm pretty sure he's starting for them.
Yeah, he is. Montreal is something else. So I don't want to touch on that topic.
There's 2 teams right now I don't want to touch with a fucking 10-foot pole, and that is Edmonton and Montreal.
There's 3 of them. Ottawa.
Ottawa's like, I see what happened in Ottawa. I don't agree with it, but I see.
They just upset me.
They put themselves in an awkward situation where they spend money. And then
don't want to spend money.
Then they tried to sell, and then didn't want to spend money, and then tried to sell again. So, I don't know.
Like, how do you like? I would rather not have Duchesne and be able to re-sign Hoffman and all those other guys and Carlson.
I'm a lot more disappointed in and hold on your point. That's a good point because you already had a good team. Yeah. There's a lot of really good, talented people here, and you brought in a guy that's only equally as good as Stone and Hoffman.
Or Kyle Turris. Like, you dropped Kyle Turris because you didn't want to pay him money, but you're paying Duchesne way more money. Yeah. What have you seen from Duchesne?
So, but you've brought in a guy equally as good as Turris, Hoffman, and Stone, but gave up Turris to get him, then tried to move Matt Stone and couldn't. So all you've done in this situation is add a higher salary for no reason at all.
And also ruin the morale of your team.
Oh, agreed.
Incredibly.
But that aside,
like, no one wants to stay there. Carlson doesn't want to stay there.
Carlson,
if I was Hoffman, I would want.
You want to know something? Carlson's gonna stay.
He probably will stay.
Other guys, the younger guys, I honestly believe you. I don't think they will stay. I think Hoffman, as soon as he hears a deal from New York Rangers, you're gone. Yeah. LA Kings, you're gonna go to those nice cities,
yeah, for sure.
Those big ass cities, and you're gonna play. You don't want to play in Ottawa where they can't even sell at a stadium when they're in the fucking semifinals. Like, that's a joke. Semifinals in Toronto, you wouldn't even be able to walk down the street. There would be a lineup of people trying to get into
like 10 minutes away, you wouldn't be able to walk down there.
Yeah. But I don't remember what I was going to say. The most disappointing for me, like Edmonton and Montreal aside, because that's a joke. A lot of people had Montreal picked to be in the top. At Vegas odds at the beginning of the year had Montreal in 4th place for points.
I want to see the person who dropped money on them.
Okay? Oh, you suck. You suck. All you dirty
That's horrible.
Fucks. I'm sorry, I'm a Leaf fan. Tonight's a big game, by the way. But Buffalo. I really had high hopes. At the beginning of the year.
I told you at the beginning of the year. I was like, they're going to be sick. I thought they were going to be good.
The one team I chirped up that all you guys gave me shit about that turned out to be garbage was Arizona. I just thought with all the first round draft picks you have, how can you be bad? But then we've seen Edmonton do that for years. So
yeah, no, Arizona. I think it's just the structure, upper management, the team's built. Like they're there, but they're not being used. Like they're not properly applied to the game. Like I don't know how to explain it.
I agree.
The players
they're
are
whatever.
there.
Even if they're
talented.
teaching the right thing, it's not getting through to the players.
Yeah.
And you need some kind of a shakeup. You need a John Tortorella on that team to just get in there and destroy them.
Or like someone who's going to go in there and actually coach them. I don't know what to think of that, but I don't know how good their coach is. I don't even know who their coach is.
I honestly can't remember, but you need...
It's irrelevant because the team is playing like trash.
You need a Tortorella / Babcock in there to correct that.
Yeah. I guarantee you put one of those... you put a Babcock in there in Arizona, Arizona's going to make the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I think so too. And like Travis Green went to Vancouver, and he did a pretty good job to start off the year, and then they kind of just...
Vancouver's going to be an interesting situation because do you want to re-sign the Sedins?
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. That's fucking hilarious.
You have those young talent like you have Bozer. I would literally Sedins, if you can sign them for cheap, hold on to them, but you need to build around Bozer, whatever his name is.
They have to choose right now because I think they do have one more year left, which hurts them very badly at Vancouver from making any moves. But you either need to choose right now. You go somewhere else where they have the cap for you, and you're not going to get a big role, or you stay here. You keep your name that you've made
in Vancouver,
but you take a lesser role and you take less money to try and win a cup. Because Sedin's on your third line is best third line in the NHL, but Sedin's on your second or first line hurts you very badly.
Yeah, they're too slow.
Henrik Sedin, one of them, who gives a shit, has 2 goals. He has 59 games played and 2 goals.
How many points?
Like 36.
Yeah, he's the passer.
But the other guy only has like 11 goals. Listen, all I'm saying is they don't have it anymore. And it's surprising because players of that caliber that you've seen win Hart trophies and Art Ross trophies and lead the league in categories.
And playoff runs.
To playoff runs to decline like that. Yeah, I get it in this age where it's hard to score. But the big time, like, great players, you don't see that big of a decline. Like, that decline was intense that they had. They fell off. They have completely fallen off. Like, even Joe Thornton...
Like last year, they were huge, and then
that's what I'm saying. Thornton and Marlowe still contribute at their age, and Thornton is having a great year this year. To be honest with you,
like injuries aside,
and it's like he was on a roll if he didn't get injured, but you have guys that like the Sedins that they're just not helping you, and you have a lot of young talent down there, and they're gonna get a high draft pick again. So this draft I would
talk to those 2 guys. If you want to stay, this is what I'm offering you: $1.5 million each. Otherwise, walk.
This is not a very deep draft class, but there are 5 team-changing worthy players similar to last year's draft where you had the Heischer and the Nolan. Like, nothing crazy, but there's good...
They're first-round pick players.
There's good people in this draft.
Yeah.
And to be one of the top 5 picks, like, to see Buffalo, Edmonton, and Vancouver, and Arizona get more high picks again... is like mind-blowing. Like, how many times can you make these picks? Jesus. Like, Edmonton is going to be a lottery team.
Yeah. Edmonton, I can't even believe Edmonton. Like any other franchise, you have that many first-round picks, your team should be the best team in the NHL.
They are horrible.
They're horrible. Edmonton ruined a lot of those players' careers.
Listen, McDavid is McDavid, and I'm sorry. I think McDavid is great, and he's the next Crosby. But he's doing so well. He didn't do that great in all season, but he's overall done well enough.
Yeah.
And they've only held him back. Okay, Draisaitl is a stinker. He went out last year, did all that stuff to get a big money contract, and then came out this year and did absolutely nothing.
And they spent all their money on them, 2 of them.
And that's good. Because when you look at Leafs right now, with those guys, the management's going to be like, oh, Marner, you did this, you did that. Nylander, they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to pay you that money.
You need to sit those 3 guys down in Toronto
and be like, do you want to win?
In the same office and say, do you want to win? Let's take this. I'll give you guys, like, you offer them a good contract. Nothing like $9 million. You offer them a good contract.
I think you do this. You try to lock down Matthews for $10 million a season, which is a steal in a way. Okay, you get him $10 million a season for 5 years. Okay, on a 5-year contract, $50 million, because then he'll still be young when that's over, and he's your franchise player. He'll resign. Okay, you get the other 2 guys on like $6.5 million contracts on only 3-year terms.
But that's what they're gonna go for. Now, right? How do you build from there?
The problem is you give those big contracts like Draisaitl, and that's like a 7-8 year contract. So you're screwed as a team and that, because if he doesn't pan out, like I'm sure he'll bounce back, but it hurts you. It really hurts you.
Well, it hurts you because you're gonna have other players come up too in the contracts now, and like you can't even keep your team together. You can't afford it, and also they're greedy too. People want to get paid.
That's true. And
like if I was Matthews, I'd say give me $5 million and build me a championship team.
It sounds stupid. It sounds like being a homer and trying to say this, but I don't see those 3 guys on the Leafs as having that sort of attitude. I personally really think all 3 of them want to be Leafs. They've dreamt about playing hockey, and the Leafs is the team. And you're in the biggest market in the world for hockey, Toronto, in Canada, and you're playing top line time.
Like, why would you want to stay here is my question. Like, the team loses every single game, and the seats still sell out.
It's not like you're 33 years old at Ginla trying to hang on to what you have, and you need that big contract just to make sure you get paid. You're 20 years old. You could sign a 5-year contract at a low number and try to win now, and then, after that 5 years, if you don't want to be with the Leafs anymore, fine. Take your money and walk. But at least you put in time now. You had a chance to win, a real chance. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you try to go to a contender, if you're trying to go to Chicago or LA or Pittsburgh, one of those guys, you're not going to get that money you want anyways.
Another team.
I get it, but you're not going to get that money anyways because they don't have any salary cap to pay you that. So you can either take a lower amount and stay with the Leafs and help them win, or you could go to another team that has a chance
money and not win.
And you go to a shit team, take more money and not win, or go to a contender and you're not going to get paid anyways.
Yeah.
So it really, you're 20 years old. You have 5 years to waste not making $10 million, $6.5 million. Like, Jesus Christ, I get to play hockey for my living.
Do I think Edmonton is going to win a cup with McDavid's contract? I don't think so.
With McDavid, yes. With Draisaitl, no.
That's what I mean. With those guys right now, no. I don't think you will. You can't afford to.
That's not a Jonathan Taves and Kane setup there.
No, that was better.
That's a Patrick Kane and a nobody set. That's a Sidney Crosby with no Malkin setup. But you're paying someone else to pretend that they're Malkin. Yeah, you're paying a guy to pretend that he's Malkin. Yeah, it's not. The best teams have that. In LA, you had Jeff Carter at his prime, not as the same caliber, but in his prime, and Anze Kopitar. Plus, all around them, you had a solid physical player and a goal scorer on every line. That's how they were built.
And defensively, you had Doughty.
And you had all bang-em-up defensemen.
Yeah, good goalie.
That's why. That's what Chicago did. Yeah. You had a skilled player on every line with a physical guy and a guy who scores goals, or if you're Kane, had a passer to pass you the puck. And then all bang them up solid defensemen, minus Keith, who doesn't hit anybody.
That's where I think Chicago messed up, because you should have kept Panarin.
Oh, that was a bad move.
You literally ruined your team. Listen, look, last year compared to this year.
You want to talk bad moves? That's a bad move.
You ruined the team.
Oh, not only that, let's re-sign Patrick Sharp. I don't know what the salary is, but if you got Sharp for under $2 million, okay, you know what? I won't hate on that, because on third or fourth line, that's a decent guy scoring you 15 to 20 goals. But if he's making any more than $2 million, you got ripped off so badly that it's insane. You're wasting cap on it. You could have signed 3 more young guys.
Yeah.
Like, you could have signed 3 rookies at $800,000 contracts or $1 million contracts. And
okay, let's get back on topic here. I gotta throw this out there. JVR Bozak.
I just want to talk about how sexy JVR is right now.
I would keep JVR.
You know what? If it's up to me, if you can get Bozak to take a reduced contract, I would keep both of them.
Okay, what I heard the other day is like an eye-opener to this whole contract signing. Patrick Marleau got JVR's money.
Yeah.
So now you're in a predicament now if you want to spend money on
I said JV, that from the beginning.
Or are you going to get rid of Bozak?
If you were going to 1 year Marleau, okay, even 2 years. But 3 years,
2 years
3 years is bad, because in the third year, he's not going to produce like he is this year. Even next year, he's probably not.
They can buy a Mo.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to end up happening. I think he's going to get bought out and he's going to end up in a management position either in Toronto or San Jose. But
really?
Like, maybe not like the manager, but he'll be like head of personnel, or like he's a hockey guy. That's what he does. You see him work with these young guys. That he's good at that. maybe even a scout. But
like, there isn't a player right now playing like JVR in the NHL.
Let's just start off by saying he scored 4 goals in one game.
So did Evander Kane, and he's tied San Jose's record for most goals in a game.
But then the next game, he scored 2 more goals within the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah. His office is in front of the net. And
he got an assist, I believe, too, in that game. And this game against a really stanky-ass Montreal, if Van Riemsdyk even scores 1 goal, I'm freaking out. So you scored 7 goals in 3 games. A player that everyone doubted, that, like, well, I know we never really did, but people were so against it, and everyone was against it, and, like, I don't know. That's just how it is. You want to wrap this up and watch a Leaf game?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
All right, guys. This concludes this episode of 5 for Talking. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And check us out on Instagram. 5.4talking. The number 5.4talking. Period in between 5 and 4. Check down below. It'll be there. Link below.
There's cool stuff on there. You might like it.